most anticipated credit card revamp of the year is finally here after months of speculation. We have a not so new reward category that is finally making its way to the main Amex Gold page, and the rest of you are most likely already familiar with the following changes since Doctor of Credit leaked these changes. But just in case you didn't see it, we have a new statement credit, we've lost a couple of dining credit options, gained a new dining credit option, and the restaurant multiplier is now being limited. So I am actually going to be sharing some inside information about the changes that I was able to get from one of my Amex contacts. So this is not going to be a rehash of the changes that we already know. Instead, the angle of this video is to give you the real story and data behind the Amex Gold card changes and share my thoughts on whether I will keep or cancel this credit card. So let's talk about Project Castle, and yes, that is the code name for the Gold Card refresh project. The highly speculated change that we all expected was an annual fee increase. The Gold Card's annual fee has been increased to $325, which represents a 30% increase. The last time the annual fee was increased was back in 2018, and it was increased by $55 from $195 to $250. In one of my previous videos, I speculated an annual fee of somewhere between $300 and $350, so it's nice to see that I was mainly spot on. Now, there are some additional statement credits that come with the annual fee increase to help to justify the annual fee increase, so let's get straight into those next. As you all know already, we are losing Shake Shack and Milk Bar. If you enjoyed using your dining credits toward these two options, you have up until September 26th to continue enjoying using these dining credit options. So be sure to take advantage of them before they are gone forever. It's official that we are gaining Five Guys as a dining credit option. In my mind, Five Guys is pretty similar to Shake Shack, so losing Shake Shack isn't completely terrible. However, Five Guys is definitely on the pricier side. As a tidbit of information, there are somewhere around 1,500 Five Guys locations around the country, but there are only around 330 Shake Shack locations in the country. So Five Guys is more convenient for more cardholders. So the complete list of options for your dining credit include Grubhub, The Cheesecake Factory, Goldbelly, Wine.com, and Five Guys, which is the new option. America runs on Dunkin, and so does the Amex Gold card. We lost Milk Bar, which literally only had 11 locations, and I'll insert a quick scroll of their website showing all locations. And instead, Amex is now offering Dunkin, which has somewhere over 9,000 locations in the US. There are definitely people who are confused with this decision by American Express to offer Dunkin as a statement credit, but like I told a couple of my friends within the credit card space, American Express is not going to screw up their bread and butter card. They found that approximately 30% of card members are already using their Gold Card at Dunkin, so it made perfect sense to offer this statement credit because now that encourages those approximately 30% of people to continue to hold the Gold Card, because the total $84 per year in Dunkin credits, which is delivered monthly, will completely erase the $75 annual fee increase. So this particular credit was not randomly selected. In addition, like I shared a few moments ago, there are thousands of Dunkin locations throughout the US. So Amex also wanted to partner with a brand that has a strong presence within the country, and the ultimate goal was to leverage partnerships that meet the everyday needs of their card members. So if we don't like this credit, then we literally have the other Gold Card members to thank for it. Before I move on, I find it very interesting that people are making fun of the new options and stating, what is Amex thinking? Amex wants us to be unhealthy with these new options. Dunkin' and Five Guys? I just want to state that Shake Shack wasn't healthy either. It was another burger joint. Just take a look at their menu. Burgers, French fries, different type of milkshakes. Come on. And Milk Bar was a bakery / dessert shop. So let's get real, guys. Again, I want to shout out Anthony Venture, as he was the first one I heard to mention this credit, so good prediction by Anthony. We can all already tell that Amex is really giving a hard push to Resy to drive more traffic and usage. That way Resy can continue to expand and partner with other restaurants, which makes it better for all of us cardholders since this is now a statement credit. What I didn't expect to find out is that around 40% of Amex Gold card members actually have a Resy account. So this is data that American Express is watching because they know how many of that 40% is actually using Resy to make reservations. And since their goal is to increase the popularity of Resy, it makes total sense to encourage usage to all Amex Gold cardholders by offering a $100 statement credit toward Resy delivered semi-annually. If you're having difficulty using this credit, I encourage you to watch Kelby's video on the different ways to redeem the Resy credit if you haven't done so already. You do need to know that enrollment through your Amex card account is required to receive the $100 Resy credit, and creating a separate Resy account is not necessary. I think this is similar to what was required for the Grubhub enrollment when I did it a couple of years ago. Next up, the 4x multiplier on purchases at restaurants will now have a cap of $50,000 in spend per year, and after that, all of your restaurant purchases will earn 1x membership reward points. I don't even come close to this amount of spend at restaurants per year, but I do wonder why Amex implemented this restriction, and I'll get into my thoughts on that a little later on. The rumors are true. We have a new version of the Amex Gold card, and that's none other than the white gold card. As far as I know, the intent right now is to release this white gold version as a limited time offer, but there is a potential that it can come back in the future. I'm not sure what the thresholds are for American Express to decide whether to make this version of the gold card a permanent design option, but there is that potential that it can become permanent in the future. Now, obviously, if you do want this version, I encourage you to apply for this version of the Amex Gold card if you're new to the gold card, or request a product change if you're an existing card member. Just a heads up here, existing card members will have access to a more limited supply of the white gold card, as Amex is reserving the majority of them for new cardholders. Finally, we have an existing reward category that really hasn't been marketed to us, and that's the 2x membership reward points on prepaid hotels and other eligible purchases made through AmexTravel.com. For those of you who didn't know this existed, there's a Reddit thread discussing that the points for these eligible purchases would land in the bonus activity section. So again, it just wasn't marketed to us, and I'll put up the language from the card's terms here on the screen. Eligible purchases include prepaid hotels, prepaid air travel. I don't know why this is listed here, since there is a 3x reward category for flights purchased directly with the airlines and also through Amex Travel. Prepaid short-term rentals, prepaid car rentals, vacation packages, so flights and hotel packages, or cruise reservations. I almost forgot about this one. We are going to continue to see a targeted approach to welcome offers from American Express. I know that Dunkin Credit leaks that the initial welcome offer will be 60,000 membership reward points plus 20% back on up to a total of $100 in statement credits. However, I like to point out that this information was not completely correct, as there will be multiple welcome offers that will be available with the Refresh Gold card at launch. Now, I'm not going to mention exactly what's planned because even that can change, but I will mention that there are plans to potentially offer a historically high welcome offer that we haven't seen before. I have no idea how Amex will roll this out, but I'm assuming it will be handled similarly to the 175,000 point welcome offer for the Amex Platinum card, which I still have yet to come across on Amex's website. So I won't get you guys excited about what the amount of points are for that historically high offer, since you just might not ever be able to see it. Also, remember that even if you see that welcome offer, Amex has been a bit more aggressive with handing out sentences to Amex pop-up jail, which basically means they're letting you know that you don't qualify for that particular welcome offer. I will reiterate, it is important to research what is the best offer that is available when you are looking to apply for the Amex Gold card, and really just about any of these popular cards from American Express that are known to have multiple welcome offers running concurrently. Now that we know all of the changes, let's get into what was Amex thinking. First, Amex has identified their target audience. They know that their target audience are the millennials and the Gen Zers. And I'm sorry, I don't know the plural form of Gen Z, so that'll have to work. And they really want to focus on the dining aspect of the Amex Gold card to position it as the most powerful and rewarding dining card option in the market. But have they been able to accomplish what they set out to accomplish with these changes that we see? So Amex began to look at how their existing card members are using the Gold Card, and they found that over 60% of card members who travel selected their travel destination based on the cuisine of that particular culture. And they also found that 8 out of 10 card members in the US prefer to dine at a local mom and pop type restaurant over a chain restaurant when traveling. Finally, they found that over 70% of younger consumers preferred spending money on experiences rather than material products, with dining being one of those experiences. So it only made sense for American Express to strengthen the dining appeal of the Gold Card. To further strengthen this, and I find this data to be super interesting, out of all of the reward categories with the bonus multiplier that are currently offered by the Gold Card, so I'm not talking about the all other eligible spending category, Amex found that 90% of Amex Gold Card members use their cards at restaurants. Now, don't think that means that no one's using the other categories. This is just the total number of card members and how many of those card members spend within a particular category. I thought that the grocery category would be the most popular one used, but only 80% of card members actually use that category, which makes me wonder which card the other 20% of people are using, or maybe they're just shopping at places like Walmart, Costco, BJ's, etc. So their Gold Cards just don't get as much use in the supermarket category. This data point is pretty funny and it'll make a lot of you laugh. So the average annual spend on the Gold Card is just above $29,000. And the category with the most amount of spend is retail, followed by the other category. In this community, we know that there's a lot of opportunity costs by that decision, but it goes to show that the average American doesn't have nearly as many credit cards as we do in this community. As a part of the research and development of the revamped or refreshed Gold Card, Amex also looked at 5 other credit cards, and I think that deserves a video of its own. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell activated so that when that video goes live, you'll be one of the first ones to know. But there is a card on the list that actually surprised me, and I had originally planned to do a comparison video between these 2 cards. So comment down below which other 5 credit cards you think Amex identified as a direct competitor to the Gold Card. So that's enough information about the research that went into the revamped Gold Card. Now let's get into my thoughts. Let's start out with the negative, in my opinion, as this card relates to me and my habits. I am not excited about the annual fee increase. My goal is to keep the total amount of my annual fees below $1,000 per year across all of my credit cards, and this annual fee increase will take me over the $1,000 mark. My annual fee credit card lineup includes $95 spent on the Chase Sapphire Preferred, $195 on the Amex Hilton Honors Business, $395 on the Capital One Venture X, and now $325 on the Amex Gold Card. So instead of spending a total of $935 on annual fees, with the increased annual fee of the Amex Gold, that now gives me a total of $1,010 in annual fees for credit cards, and I'm not a fan of that. The silver lining here for me is that the annual fee for my Gold Card posts next month, so I'll still be charged with $250 for the next year. So with this revamp, I'm actually able to get my effective annual fee closer to 0, or get a net positive actually. The next thing that I don't like is that Amex is finally marketing the 2X category that most people didn't know about, so most people just never really used it. So to the majority of people, this may seem like a new multiplier, but it really isn't. I honestly think that Amex should have added a new multiplier category. I've been calling for it, and it's unfortunate to see what played out here, especially since the vast majority of spend on the Gold Card is within the retail and other eligible expenses category, and both of those categories only earn 1x back. It'll be interesting to see whether or not this data influences the creation of a new Amex card. And I haven't heard anything about a new Amex card. I'm just totally speculating at this point. The final change that I'm not so happy about is the Resy Credit. I have one Resy restaurant nearby, but the majority of the options are down in the Miami area, and I don't like going down to Miami. The silver lining here is that these credits come semi-annually, so it isn't terrible, and I have hope that Amex will continue to expand the Resy program. Although I don't like this credit so much simply because of the inconvenience, I am willing to try it out because I do eat out more than twice per year at restaurants. So I'll say that I will be able to benefit from this statement credit. I'm not sure how much value I'll get from this credit, so for now, I'll count $50 of this credit as I am willing to try it at least once. Now onto the changes that I found to be positive. And again, this is for my personal use case scenario. First, I'm very excited about Five Guys being added as an option for the dining credit. I actually do eat at Five Guys like once per month because, let's be honest, they are a little pricey for a fast food hamburger joint. Five Guys is actually within walking distance from my apartment, whereas Shake Shack was around 15 miles away in an area that I never really go to. So I'll be able to enjoy the full credit of my monthly $10 dining credit rather than the typical $6 to $7 of actual credit I get from using Grubhub because of the inflated prices that are usually associated with ordering through Grubhub rather than ordering directly with the restaurant. So thank you, American Express, for that change. That means that my effective annual fee will be brought down a little more since I'll be able to get the full $120 dining credit value. Also, doing a quick search, I found that there were just over 300 Shake Shack locations in the US and around 1,500 Five Guys locations in the country. So this was definitely an attempt to make the credit more accessible to more cardholders. Good job, Amex. At least good job for me because I'll be able to take advantage of it. I think that the Dunkin credit is great for a lot of people, and I actually like getting a donut every so often. Now, I know that I won't get the full benefit from this credit because I don't go to Dunkin every single month. Spoiler alert, I am not a coffee drinker. I'll estimate that I'll use this credit around 4 times out of the year, so I can safely estimate that I'll get an anticipated value of $28 per year. All right, the white gold card. I'm all about the white gold card, and quite a few of you have called for me to ditch the rose gold card and go for the white gold card. I'm not sure how much I'm willing to do this. I'm just kidding. I'm definitely joining Team White Gold. My leadership is needed on a brand new team to make sure everything runs smoothly. But honestly, the white gold card looks really good in the images, and I think that this may be Amex's best looking card design. I know a lot of you are going to be sad because you can't poke fun at me anymore for having the rose gold card, but hey, join me over on Team White Gold. That's if you're able to get your hands on it before supplies run out. I am pretty neutral about the $50,000 spend cap on the 4X restaurant category because I don't spend anywhere near that amount of money on eating out, and that still allows cardholders the opportunity to earn 200,000 membership reward points using that particular 4X multiplier in the restaurant category. I'm also neutral to Amex continuing to offer a targeted approach to the welcome offers. This is a marketing tool that they use to give that edge to the gold card and their other cards like the platinum card. So no harm, no foul. I'd obviously like for you all to use my referral link or my affiliate link to support the channel, but ultimately I think it's much more important for you all to get the best offer that's available for when you are ready to apply for the credit card. As you all know, I am giving American Express preferential treatment in my wallet this quarter because I really want to focus on putting more spend on my American Express cards to develop a good relationship with them. My velocity with Amex has been pretty fast, so I don't want to be locked out in Amex pop-up jail forever. So at least over the next year, I am going to keep the gold card since I'll still have it at the $250 annual fee and will be able to use the full $120 of dining credit. I typically estimate around $84 for the Uber credit since I have to use Uber Eats to take advantage of that cash, which means I'm paying a little bit more for those menu items, around $28 for the Dunkin credit since I don't really go to Dunkin Donuts often, and I'm dedicated to getting at least $50 from that Resy Credit, at least for this year. That's a total of $282 in credits, and when I subtract that from the total annual fee that I'll pay, which is $250 for this next year of holding the gold card, I'll net a positive value of $32. So with that, it absolutely makes sense for me to keep the gold card. The following year may be a different story. It all depends on how much I like using the Resy credit and if Amex adds more restaurants to the Resy program that's more convenient for me. So with that said, guys, we've come to the end of the video. This was a long one. Thank you all for sticking to the end. Make sure that you watch this video next on the Amex Gold card. But until then, come on over and get your high five.